Hey everyone, welcome back. Alex here again, and today I'm going to do a skill review for the monk in the Healing Prayers line. Now, Healing Prayers is an interesting place, not so much in what it does, but rather it's a very simple line. It refills the HP pool of your allies so they can keep doing their job, hopefully defeating the enemy before your party gets overwhelmed, whether that's in PvE or PvP. Particularly in PvP, since the object of the other team, or their objective, is to kill your team in short order. So that's why healing monks tend to be always the first targeted. Now, the thing is you have a lot of options on how to heal someone in your team. And other than Horizon of Healing, every healing spell has some additional effect, some additional benefit, but there's always a catch to it. Either there's a condition that has to be met, such as a hex, or an enchantment, or a condition on your ally. Or you have to be in a certain range, or you have to be below 50% health or something like that. So that is really what makes Healing Prayers kind of interesting, in that in doing such a simple job, there's a lot of skills for it. I mean, I have 29 and I don't even have all of them yet. So that's something that's kind of interesting. But there's an interesting skill here that seems to go counter to everything that you do in Healing Prayers. And that's the skill Gift of Health. Now, Gift of Health is the poster child of a very powerful healing spell with a very powerful drawback, but it has some nice things to it as long as you know how to use it. And one thing you're going to see here very quick is that no primary healing monk in their right mind would ever take this skill. But for a secondary monk or a secondary healer, where the monk is doing another job, such as protection, smiting, or focusing on divine favor, this can become a pretty nice skill. So Gift of Health is a faction skill, and for 5 energy and a 3/4 second cast time and a 5-second recharge, it's a spell. And here's the thing, all of your other healing prayer spells, skills, actually not just spells, skills, are disabled for 7 seconds in this case. Your target other ally is healed for 96 health. Wow. So all of your healing prayer skills are disabled. Some are between the range of 10 seconds to 5 seconds, all the way at the top at about 16 healing prayers. If you put this on your skill bar as a primary healer, you're going to be out of a job very, very quickly. But that's not where this thing really comes in. This thing really comes in if your monk is doing something, say, like protection prayers, or is a smiting support monk, or you're an elementalist with a monk secondary, or any other secondary. This is a powerful heal for 5 energy and for a 5-second recharge. The other thing that's interesting is that in that penalty for the healing prayers, it's between 10 to 7 seconds, but it's not all your healing spells, it's the other healing prayer skills, which means that the Gift of Health itself will always recharge at 5 seconds, even if your other skills are recharging between 10, 9, or 8 seconds, or lower than that. So Gift of Health will always recharge sooner than your other healing prayer spells will recharge with this penalty. So it really belies the fact that, for this skill, you can only carry this skill, and that's it for healing prayers. And that is it. So I began to play around with it a little bit, and I began to say, well, what skills can I use in healing prayers that are not time dependent, which means I could lay it on an ally and not be penalized so much with that 7-second cooldown, in this case at Healing Prayers 9, while doing my primary job, which in this case is a smiting monk, doing some damage and some healing along the side. So I'm taking everyone's favorite skill, Mending. It's a maintained enchantment. I did a video on it before, and I said, yeah, I'm just going to throw it on the bar here because it's a maintained enchantment, so it's not going to be really penalized by Gift of Healing, or in this case, Gift of Health, because it doesn't matter, because it's a maintained enchantment. It doesn't matter if it's always on cooldown or not. Another one is Vigorous Spirit. Vigorous Spirit, 30 seconds, you can just pop it on someone. It's not time to bend it. You're not going to be saving someone when you put Vigorous Spirit on it. It's really a very proactive spirit, very good on warriors or any kind of fast attack type of character. Well, it's good on anyone, basically, that can do an action. So I'm out here in Copperhead Mines, and I've set up my skill bar in kind of a specific way. It's a maintained bond skill bar, and yes, it is mending. But again, I'm just going to show this as a demonstration. Another good one here, if you're stacking the line with melee type of characters, would be, where is it? Strength of Honor, which would actually be the Strength of Honor carrier. But in this case, I've only got 2 melee characters, so not really worth it. Aside, mending at +3 health generation would work a bit better. Again, this is hard mode. It's not going to prevent a spike. I can't repeat this enough. That is where the Protection Monk comes in. And again, I got Lena out here. I only have one monk, Ogden. He's on healing duty right now. On this character, I don't have another monk hero available. So Lena is going to have to do the dirty work. But there's a second healing monk, and that is myself with the Mending, the Vigorous Spirit, and the Gift of Healing. So I can double as a secondary healer along with Ogden here. And keep doing my damage with, I'm taking Word of Censure. I know a lot of people like Ray of Judgment, but because it's hard mode, if I cast Ray of Judgment, all the enemies just scatter at that point, and it's really not that effective. Word of Censure, it's a nice damage spell. Does 80 damage, holy damage, armor ignoring. Again, just as the description here, you gotta be careful not to be too trigger happy, and again, also I'll be maintaining energy with this. Everything else is very low cost. Either it's a Signet, which costs nothing at all, or they're 5 energy. So Word of Censure is really kind of the expensive skill in this tree. So anyways, let's head on outside and let's just see how it goes. So I'm gonna head out to Spearhead Peak and we'll see what happens. Again, I got some basic equipment, 2 golden type of items, both Smiting Prayers and Divine Favor, although the Divine symbol is interesting because it's 11 Divine Favor, but it helps my Smiting Prayers, so this really is kind of my Smiting Prayers setup here. Okay, so here we are, and I'm going to put the Mending on my squishy heroes. So it'd be Ogden, Caitlyn, Gwen, Vec, and last but not least, Lena. I'm going to keep myself out of harm's way. Now, I don't have it on myself, so that's something I have to be careful with. I'm going to head out here, and there's a lot of these annoying frost imps. And they love to just focus someone down here. Let's see if we can get in the fray here. So I'm gonna just kind of stay here. One thing I've been doing is going to take my heavily armored warrior, send her out there, and watch me clean up. So I'm going to pop on there. And here we go. Okay. Okay, so there's another ice imp. Start doing some damage here. And there we go. Okay, didn't have to use Gift of Health yet, but that's going to change as we get up here. Let's see, grab some loot. And here we go. The thing about Gift of Health, always to remember, is you cannot use it on yourself. Okay, there we go. Again, you can see that shutdown, but I'm not really missing it because I'm doing my smiting stuff. And now we can head up here. Okay. Okay, now I can see. Ooh. And the thing is, remember, you can't use it on yourself. So put that on. So because I'm using Gift of Health and I have 2 healing kind of enchantments, those are the only skills that are shut down. The rest of my bar is still fully functional. And I got 1 Divine Favor skill and 4 smiting skills, including my elite Word of Censure. Okay, now we got a really large Ice Golem group up here. Let's stay out of the way here. And you know what? I'll be a little proactive here. Oh, and here we go. And that was not good. That was actually my bad on my part. But let's see if we can keep things going here. There we go. Let's get some damage going. Okay. Censure, and unfortunately I got below that 20%, so and I'll use my signature. Okay. Not the best demonstration of me clicking my heroes. I sent them all in rather than sending Taraza in, but I was able to do some healing on my own until Ogden got back up on his feet again. And again, he was the one that bit the dust. No, well. We'll get mending back on him. And again, I'm going to catch flack, I know, from Reddit on this, but mending at +3 and just leaving it there, that stacks up. Again, you know, 3 health times that by 2 is 6 health every second across at least 5 people. And that can stack fairly quickly. But I know how much people hate the skill, so I'm not going to try and defend it. But it does have its uses sometimes. Okay, now I'm going to send Taraza in. And there she goes. Do some damage. Yep. Ice Sims just doing what they always do. There we go. Cleaned out. Now the thing about Gift of Health, it does also use Divine Favor. So even though it says 96, it's actually more than that. So if I heal, for example, Vec, it's 96 plus 35. So that's over 130 health for 5 energy. That is really, really nice. But again, you have to be in a secondary healer role, because it is just not worth it if you're a primary healer. You know, use the skills you normally use, but don't use Gift of Health if you're a primary healer. If you're a secondary healer, it can work really well, and that's really what's meant for. Okay, so I'm gonna use what I heard ahead of time. And down he goes. Okay. Now there's only 3 ice imps, so there's not a huge amount here. Let's see if we can. Now it takes some skill, of course, to use that. Okay, got Caitlyn up. Knowing when to use it and when not to use it. But you get a little bit more leeway if you're not the primary healer. Okay. And of course, with the maintained enchantments such as mending, I don't have to worry about it at all. So in this case, it's a lot more forgiving. Okay, we got a big group here. Kill that muddy terrain. There we go. No. Alright, let's go for the ice imp. Okay, Vec taking a beating. Get my energy back up. Held up Terraza. Okay. And using my signets. Don't want to burn my energy down. Okay, there's a boss. Let's get rid of these guys. We're gonna take out them. No. Top up Terraza again. Okay. And that just leaves the ball. Okay, and we can take our leisure with him. And down he goes. Okay. So, that is Gift of Healing. Again, when you use the skill, you have to think of the penalty, which is that 7 seconds in this case. What can you get away with that you don't need to use very quickly or on an on-demand type of skill? And in healing prayers, that is extremely, extremely rare. And that is, I've only really found 2 or 3 skills that can work. Again, Vigor Spirit is one of them. If you're using a maintained enchantment such as Mending or Live Vicariously, if you want to use Live Vicariously, you can do that and you won't be penalized as much when using Gift of Health. Any other skills such as any kind of active healing skill or even Healing Breeze or things like that, I would not recommend with Gift of Health, because when you see someone being really focused down, you want to use Gift of Health and then follow up with another healing skill, and you can't. So that is something you have to be very, very careful of. If in doubt, you're not sure if you want to deal with that penalty, don't bring Gift of Health. Bring Horizon of Healing or Dwyana's Kiss or the Healing Signet or something like that. But Gift of Health. Now, the thing about Gift of Health is that you don't need a whole lot of skill points in the attribute line to get a very big effect. It actually ramps up very, very fast per point. So, to give an example, with 9 healing prayers, with Gift of Health, I get 96 healing. With Horizon of Healing, it's 50 healing. So, it's almost 2 to 1 ratio. Signet of regeneration, it's about 51, but you get another 51 if they're casting and it doesn't cost any healing at all. Actually, Signet regeneration is a very good Signet. Divine's Kiss, 42 with another 25 possibly, and Heal Other, you go up to 122. So again, everything scales with healing prayers, or per skill, but should give you an idea of the relative range. That Gift of Health is about the same as, twice the power of Horizon of Healing, almost twice. And also you factor in Divine Favor as well. So it's a powerful heal. But again, you can't spam it because again, it's on a 5-second cooldown and you can't use anything else with it. So you really have to be a secondary monk to do that. Again, you can be smiting, like in this case here, or you can be protection, which is also viable. So, and there's a lot of builds you can do that, but you got to build around it. And if you're a primary healer, don't use the skill. Use almost every other skill. But if you're a secondary healer or you're a monk secondary, it ramps up powerfully. So if you're thinking of using, for example, just a Horizon of Healing on your bar, and that's it, and you're doing, say, air magic, or you're doing something else, don't take Horizon of Healing. Take Gift of Health, because even with a little bit of a longer recharge time, which I think is 2 seconds. Let's see here. So Horizon of Healing is 2 seconds. Okay, it's 3 seconds additional recharge time, but you get twice the amount, and it works really well. So anyways, that is Gift of Health. It's a skill that I would not recommend for new players, but it's definitely a skill for veteran players that can really build out the skill bar and build around it. It can be a very effective secondary healing. Again, the other drawback is you cannot use this on yourself. It can only be on a target other ally. So it's not a self-heal. That's the other thing to keep in mind. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. That is Gift of Health. Again, you can pick it up in the Factions campaign. I've used it quite a bit the last couple days, trying to work with it or around it. And it really is as recommended on Guild Wars Wiki. You want to use this as a secondary healing profession, not as a primary one. But ask any healing monk, they can always use some additional help, especially when they start getting overwhelmed and even the protection monk can't keep up with all the damage and mitigating damage out and have the primary healer keep up with it. Every little bit of helps, and this can be a pretty good help. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'm looking forward to doing some more soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.